Be blessed by divine. Be blessed by divine. Sir, you are always amazing, sir. With memory also you proved now. Great. Thank you very much. Every birth has purpose. Every life has a meaning. Every man in the world or human in the world want to be happy. Are we happy? Bliss is second stage of happiness. Let us see first we are happy or that or not. Is it very difficult to achieve the happiness? Maybe yes, maybe no. But if we ask us, the Sky Group guys, it is a very, very simple techniques. Let us see one by one from the basic, what is the source of conflict, where we are getting problem, how to solve it, then how to achieve the happiness, then bliss, blissful life. Good morning to all. Let us start the session now. Let us take an example of in a puncture house. Yeah, the guy was sitting there with no food, no income due to corona cases maybe, and he didn't have any cars to repair. He's suffering with the food for food. At the other end, there was a guy who urgently going to some interview or something. Suddenly he got car got punctured. Now eventually the guy who suffering with the car puncture is calling first guy and trying to repair it. Now the first guy problem was solved. He is happy. If you see this example, the problem is one one fellow's happiness, others fellows pain, or others fellow have pain is one fellow happiness. Let us see few more example like this. If in a share market, if people knows about share market, if one is getting good profit, enjoying the money, which means someone is getting loss in that, that's a kind of business. So why it is happening? If you see, it is because of paradigm. People might surprise what is maybe paradigm, what is the relation between this happiness and sorrow. It is very, very simple. Paradigm is the way of looking the things, the way of seeing the circumstance, which means is not depends on the action which is happening. It depends on how you are seeing the things. Let us understand a little more better way. Let's say there's a guy waiting for the he stuck in a sea, and he was living in a small island. He is trying to go out of this place. He's waiting for someone to help him. Suddenly he saw a boat, and a guy is showing his two arms, and is surprisingly showing like he's coming and rescuing. But if you see other end, the guy already suffered from the uh, wind, and his boat was got a problem. He want to get the land side, so he is seeking help. Both are thinking they're helping each other, but the understanding is different. Similarly, if you see, there are some four bars are you're looking at. If you count it, you may see it's a four, but actually it's a three. You can see the difference between these two. And another thing, if you see the number six, if you see from one end is a six, other end is it's a nine. Even the first figure which I shown you, if you see this, if you see the figure, if you try to observe it, somebody can look that as an old lady. Somebody can look that as an young lady. If you observe cool and calm mind, you can see both are exist there. The way of looking the things. Why I'm saying these things, um, people are thinking their own way, their thinking pattern, expectation, and the circumstance, everything influencing them to take a view on a particular stuff. Let us take an example. Uh, there was a house, it's a 100 years old house, and there was a rich man living there. One day he went out for some purpose, and when he comes back, his whole house was fired up. It is firing, and is getting destroyed. He started to shout, "Oh my God, my house is gone, my property, wealth, everything gone." He started to cry. Suddenly, his first elder son came to him and said, like, "Daddy, don't worry. We sold the house yesterday." The moment he heard that the house was sold already, he got cold and got, oh my God, it's okay. So house is burning. Let us make it off, cool it off, no problems, kind of thing. He's become cool. And the moment, if you see, the yeah, fraction moment ago, he was shouting and suffering with the pain. After the fraction, he's got cool and this thing because the way he's looking, something is affecting his own wealth. He's getting problem. If he thinks like it's not affecting him, it's not a problem. A moment after, younger son came and said like, "Daddy, we didn't get the money for that sale deed. Still, he didn't pay for us." And again, he started to cry. So this condition we can, if you imagine it, always this is the case. Everything happens in the world is doing some with some purpose, but how you are seeing the things, observing for yourself is the problem for you. If you think like other way, it's a normal case. Let's say here nowadays the projects are getting less and jobs are very less and people will get released from the job. Somebody want to have money, you want to live here itself for another 20 years. If he lost the job, he will cry. Somebody already exhausted with this country, he want to go back to India, that news will be happy news for him, which means that the pain or pleasure which he feels inside is not depends on what happening, it depends on how he is taking into the mind. This is because Mahariji says the human has uh, treasures are within them. It's and that is seven things are there that will make them to decide or leave the pattern of their leaking. They're saying like physical structure, character, level of knowledge, reputation, physical strength, wealth, and comfort. These are comes from the background they are experiencing so far, the background they're coming from, the thinking pattern they're making of. Somebody comes from the educated family, somebody comes from the non-educated family, somebody comes from a war battlefield, somebody comes from the peaceful environment, somebody comes from the rich family, somebody comes from the poor family. The thinking pattern, everything influenced by them, how they are experiencing themselves, how they have the knowledge within them, how this knowledge is developed within them, why they are thinking like that. Let us see some more stuff with that. When this kind of problem comes, that how it's coming, we'll see little later. And what are the expectation we have? See, now we understand the problem is the same, but your expectation towards the problem makes you pain or pleasure. The expectation, Makriji is saying there are four ways it happens: quality, quantity, time, and method. This one, let's say a small example. If you want to buy a house, we think like we have to buy a rich and posh area, big house, and say that's a quality of this thing. Quantity should be a rich money. We have to put a lot of money for that. It's okay. And time, when we want to buy it, we have to buy this year or 5 years later. And method of buying, you want to save money and buy the house, or you want to take the house by loan or something. There is a different of opinion between husband and wife on all these topics. How we are going to buy, somebody he may think like we have to buy a small house in the outer side of the town so that it will be accessibility will be easy and cheaper. My wife may think like we have to live in a posh area so that kids will go to the good school, kind of thing. And quality, and he may think we have to spend 1 crore rupees to buy a house. Instead of that, I can spend 30,000 only, 30 lakhs only now, and future will be later, that will be future will be grow up, kind of thing. And time, instead of buying now, if you wait 5 more years, we can save little more money and buy it. But wife may think if you wait 5 more years, the cost of the construction will shoot up, it may not be enough again, so you have to buy now. And method, and yeah, as I said, like we take the money and buying the house or going for loan. This kind of conflict always happen in every aspect. This example can be fit in any kind of problem and trying to solve it. Okay. To solve this kind of problem, what we have to do? We having conflict with, let us see, with our family. There is a conflict with the wife, husband and wife. How to solve it? For that, something called paradigm, they says. It is high end on philosophers technique, something called principle centered uh, philosophy. Is nothing but Magrichi's simple one, which I can say next to you. The principle center means he's saying everybody, as I said, like everybody thinks from their own background of knowledge, own background of uh, understanding. Said no, this thing will dip some. Everybody will have some center. Let's say if someone is self-centered person, he always thinks always selfish manner. Whatever happens around him, he want to satisfy his own need and his own demands. So his thinking pattern will be that way. And another is money. So it's like if somebody have to do everywhere, everything, they will think like making money out of it. Similarly, work, possessions, pleasure, friend, enemy, church is not church, is as a religion, we can say self and spouse. These these all the centers, which means everybody will think in different centers. If you ask me what center will be better, I say no, everything is important in your life. Everything is important, but only thing is you have to shift to the principal center. What is principal center? Satisfying all of this with the different circumstance and without affecting each other. That's what Maharishi says. I mean, five duties. Let's see that one little later. Now I say that five duties, which means how to make that way. So let us take an example, like in lifetime example. Um, there was a uh, wedding anniversary day, and husband wife decided to go for a dinner outside today evening, and that day evening enjoy the time and be happy, enjoy the moment kind of thing, and they said like we'll come to home at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock early from office. We'll go to a restaurant or something, we'll have some fun time and come back. That's our plan. We can go into the office. And up to 4 o'clock, the plan was okay. Nothing happened. Suddenly at 4 o'clock, your boss comes and say, um, uh, "Mr. Muthu, you have to stay back, and because we have some urgent request from client to give some code. For that, you have to estimate blah 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 and design blah 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 stuff. You have to make tough." At 5 o'clock, he's coming. I have to go out he's coming at 5 o'clock. I have to go out that same time. But if I stay for this, my complete plan will collapse. Now, this scenario, what I will decide, if the person will decide, if he is self-centered person, he always thinks what he need for himself, what is better for himself. If he is like a um, workaholic guy or always in the workaholic mode, he will think like, oh, if I work, I will get promotion. I will get elevated position. If I go back to home, if I do that, my wife will be happy, but I can make her happy anytime. I don't want to go for this. He will forget about going to the movie program. He will continue the work. If the guy is a spouse centered person, always you want to make family happiness. Oh, things like, oh, I have to make my family happy, so I have to go now. Forget about the job. We'll say to the boss, no, 5 o'clock and coming and saying, let us see tomorrow. And there was a real incident happens. One of the guys, one of the boss went and said to his subordinate to work late evening. He said, no, I can't work. He's saying, no, it will be problem tomorrow. He asked him, what will happen? The sky will fall? The boss, he said, yes, the sky will fall. This guy said, no, let's see how the sky is falling tomorrow. I want to see this. This kind of conversation will happen if you are so much self-centric. But if you are principle-centric, for this kind of situation, how you tackle it? The self-centric person analyze the situation, analyze the problem, try to find a better and peaceful way satisfying all of this, which means he has to decide, is that problem is solvable? Can we do it tomorrow to make that business happy and boss happy? Or we have to do that, we can make our dinner plan tomorrow by discussing with the wife, call his wife and explain the scenario to wife and try to convince her and work for the boss. Or go to the boss and discuss with him, look, I have the dinner plan today, this is my anniversary, I have to go tomorrow morning early 5 o'clock, I mean 6 o'clock, I'll come to office and finish the work before you comes to office, I'll make you done. It can be done. So this is called a principal center. Principal center means you have to do your duty without affecting any of the other demands in a normal and alternative ways. For that, you have to think cool and keep a cool mind and do the things. That's what Maharishi says. 5 type of duties, which means you have to, what is 5 type of duties? They says you have to do your work for yourself and your family, your circumstance, your town, your world. So you have to do all the 5 duties without affecting each other. That's what principle center Maharishi says in a simple and layman view. But it's a powerful technique. If you use this technique, you analyze the scenario every time, try to see this one you want to do or not. Like say, in a normal life, self, yes, always you have to make yourself happy and this thing. You have to improve your knowledge. You can be even a little selfish also to do exercise. Morning time, if someone want to speak with you or something, you can go for walk. You say you have to go for walk and take care of your health. If you want to, if someone says skip the food or something, you can take the food without compromising your health. Similarly, if you want to educate yourself, you have to get tuned about your knowledge. Everything's important in that aspect. You have can be selfish, but the point is, when I'm saying selfish, why I'm saying that your body, yourself only, you are trying to help others. If that itself collapsed by compromising other work, like you're working too much and compromising things, your body will collapse and then you can't serve any of the duties. And family, of course, your family is a very important part of your life. Without the family, there is no meaning in life for some people, most of the family people, let's say. For that, we have duties. Like in parents are grown as when we are unable to earn money, unable to do the things our own. When you were kid, the mother and family father took care of you, feed you on time, and remove your uh, uh, exits and make you educate and grown you this much. Now they are tired, they got age, they can't earn more. Now it's duty, our duty, because we got money, we got things from them. This is what Maharishi says, duty is the due to give some your things. So there is a duty for you to take care of your family and circumstance, the family circumstance. You may have brother and sister, and there are some duties for everyone. You have to do something for your sister, something for your brother. There is a relationship matrix you have to keep at. Same way in your town, there is a responsibility for you, because in that town only you got educated, in that town only you lived your life, in the town only you got every food, everything. So there is a duty to do your for your town and the world also. Because when you see nowadays, if you see that a lot of pollution happens, there is a lot of things are coming out. But when we lived it, the place was cool and calm, and sorry, very unpolluted place. There was unpolluted water, we enjoyed everything. So if you keep the same thing for our generation, it will be better for them. As well as Maharishi says, you can see world unity in your food, in your hands of food. If you take a food in your hand, there is a rice mixed with, let's say, sambar. For the to prepare the rice, Some farmer might have walked in the land or harvested it or exported to the shop, and shop from the shop you might have brought to your home. Your spouse or wife might have prepared the food nicely in their hands. Similarly, dal is coming from some other place, the chili is coming from some other place, salt is coming from some other place. All the world, complete world working for the food on your hand. Though you are giving money to get a quality product, after giving this thing, somebody might have been worked in a proper and correct manners. That's why we're getting quality, not only for money. Even if someone thinks I give more good money, I'll get gold quality. No, it's not a way. Even if you give good money, somebody should have been prepared a good quality, then only will get quality. So our response to the world should be the same way. What are the things we are doing to the world? What are the things you are doing? See, it's not serving to the world means doesn't mean that you got to go somewhere and do the charity. Nothing like this. Whatever the things we are doing to the world, doing to live your life, work itself, it's for the society. Let's say I'm a structural engineer. I'm used to design the buildings, constructed things. And if I design the building in a robust and strong manner, it will be lasted for another 50, 100 years. So I have the responsibility of building a quality building. So that's the response to the world. Whatever we do, we should do with uh, the duty consciousness. Okay, when you do this one without expectation, with the duty consciousness, 50% of problem will be over. Why I'm saying 50? There are remaining 50s are there. 50% of problem over means your expectation makes you trouble. You should understand when you discussing with, and see, there are some advices given to everyone. You should do this way. You should do this way. When you're giving the advice to others, you should think we are not others. We don't have the experience of what they have problem or not. We can say you should not do this way, but you don't know why he is doing, what kind of circumstance he has. Unless you know his circumstance, unless you understand his point of view, then only you can do that advices. So this expectation, if you reduce it, thinking like expectation in the sense we are thinking others to behave the way we want. Instead of that, we have to accept the things the way it happens. And because of that, people are getting suffering, pleasures, because of this expectation and the way they're looking at things, they're getting suffering, pleasures, silence, ecstasy. What is the difference between this? Why they are getting suffer? If their expectation is different from what happens outside, that's a suffering. If the expectation is um, same as what happens, you'll feel pleasure. If the expectation is no expectation, you are cool and calm, and you'll feel like silence. But what is ecstasy? Ecstasy is the one to you have to understand everything happens because of the God action, our own action. Try to connect with the God. Everything is a next stage of silence. To achieve that, what we have to do? First, we have to understand to achieve that we have to do is connected with the God. That's of course a simple answer. But generally, people how they're experiencing it. Let's say they're taking into the three paths: enjoyment, charity, connect to the God. The connecting to the God is one, but generally, are we doing that? First, we have to see the life itself. Most of the people try to enjoy. When you enjoy, is it wrong to have that habit? No, not at all. That is the purpose of the life. You can enjoy the life, but what is the difference? Let's say you are waking up in the early morning. You're trying to see a that's a Friday morning or something. Instead of coming to the spiritual classes, you are going to the seeing a movie, trying to enjoy the movie. When you started looking at, you are enjoying the movie because the energy level is so high. You might have meditated in the morning, you got energy, good sleep, so you're enjoying it. After some time, if you keep watching for another 2 or 3 hours, the enjoyments will slowly go down. You may feel tired. After some time, you will feel exhausted. I can't watch more than this. It's a tiring project. The moving, there are Several movie you're continuously seeing on Netflix or Amazon Prime, whatever. And after fourth movie, fifth movie, you'll say, no, I'm getting tired. And if you see 10 movies together in a day, you will not enjoy, you will get pain. Why this happens? Similarly, when you're taking the food, you're enjoying the food. When you overeat, you are getting pain. When you walk, you are enjoying. If you overwork, you are getting pain. What is the difference between this? This is what Maharishi says, moderate in five. What is that? Your thought process and food, sleep, sex, work, everything you should moderate, because all these five should cannot be avoided, but you have to make in a normal and the limited method. Why we have to keep the limited method? Why, when you see the TV 10 hours more than particular hours, you're getting tired? Why, if you eat food more than the limit, you are getting pain? Why, if you work more than a particular time, you are getting pain? What is happens? Why it is happening? Why Margaret is saying this way? Let us understand some more principle of Vedatriya. As we know, our body is made up of cells, which is connected by the magnetic field. Those who knows the system, they know what is magnetic field. Those who don't know, if you keep continually with classes, definitely will understand what is magnetic field. Now, for simplicity, I say this is a soul in your body. There's a magnetic, biomagnetic field in your body. It's always spreads out of your body. It is like, river, river is always flowing the water. It's like in our body, there is the energy is always flowing out. Yeah, that flows out in a sensual way, a sensual organs. Let's say if it is goes through our eyes, it goes as a light energy and interacting with other material and get that information back to your eyes. That information is converted as a again bionetic wave and go and record in the brain and try to realize, oh, this is a particle, this is a one, is compare it. Similarly, everything like a taste, it goes, the tongue, it goes as a taste, ears is goes like a sound, nose is a goes like a smell, and brain, it goes like a, through brain, it goes like a third thought waves. When this energy goes, there is a spending. When you switch on the mobile and try to call someone, you use the mobile for whole day, the energy, the mobile getting, the charge is getting down, because the energy is, when you're doing an action in a mobile, the energy has been spent to make that action. Similarly, in our body, if you do an action, the energy has been spent for it. So in fact, the energy spending is, you're feeling like a pleasure and pain, which means there is a level, there is a energy level, there is a particular level of particular unit of your feel. When it's interacting with someone, there is a different feel, because every object has some same energy. The energy levels are different. The difference, if it is interact with you, you will get the difference only as a experience. For example, if you take a laddu, your tongue cells has some energy level. That energy level go on interact with your laddu in a twist taste way, that has different level of units. So what happens, your unit will increase to that level, and you will feel like a difference. That's called taste. To understand this better, if you take a laddu, in a sweet laddu, and immediately take a small coffee with little sugar, you will not feel that coffee has sugar, because energy level in your things might have been elevated to the laddu level, which is higher than the sugar level of coffee. So you will not feel that. What I'm trying to emphasize here, whatever you are expending on for any task, it's always, it's a expense. So when, similarly in the mobile phone, if you call that or see the videos for continuously 1 or 2 hours, I mean, eventually the mobile will go down and say, pop up the message like what is the battery down, charge it now, charge it now. Similarly, in your body, if you spend more and more, initially it will be enjoyment because its energy level is rising. After this, the energy is spending, it will go to the threshold level and you will feel like pain. Then you will take rest, go to the sleep. In the sleep, what happens? You are stopping all the energy spending levels. There is only one area the energy is still spending. It's an autonomous system like heartbeat, lungs functioning, breathing, all those things, which always the energy spending, the digestion, everything happens by the default mode. Other than this, other things are stopped. Now the income of that energy is increasing, outflow is reducing. By the way, the income of the energy is coming from different sources, food and circumstance, the environment, etc. We may study it later, but that energy continuously coming and you are spending more. Both are balanced. It's a silent, I mean, peace. If it is spending is more and source is less, they'll get pain. If spending is less, income is more, you'll feel pleasure. Okay, to do this, we understand that we have to keep moderate in 5. What else? Say now we are reducing the expectation. We are seeing the things in as they are, and moderate in 5. You're not spending your energy much. And what next? The same detached attachment. There are some duties you have to do, but do it in a way should not affect you. Which means when you are taking a hot vessel from the stove or something, you always keep towel in it to take it off. Why? If you take with the bare hands, it'll burn your hands. Instant, you can take from the towel, which means you will not burn your hands. How it will be practically applicable in life? Let's take an example. You have to make your child study. That is very important for you. Sometimes he may get less mark. If you go and beat him, fight him, I mean, scout at him and harass him, will the things changes? No, it may aggravate. In this scenario, what you have to do, you have to treat the child as a second, third party child. If your boss child is getting low mark, what you will do? You will give a good advice how to improve that. You will give a path how to do the things, everything. But if it is your own child, you take advantage because you are attached with them. You are always expecting them to do more. Instead of that, you can treat with detached attachment. You'll be better. Similarly, you should know there is duty you have to do. But if you do the duty beyond your limit, you'll get problem. For example, take a fruit tree. For it there is he has to give the fruits to us in a quality manner. It's giving it, but it has to know it to the fruit is growing from the tree only, but it has to know when it has to release the fruit from the tree. If it keep on sticking with its own without releasing it, what will happen? The fruit will spoil because it will not go to the action, but over doing it will make a problem. Similarly, you should know cause and effect, which means wisdom in 3 tenses, which means whatever the action we do, what happens in the past, we know the knowledge we should have. If you overeat, you might have got stomach pain. You should know. Then you should apply the same. The 3 tense knowledge is nothing but what we done in past, what happens to the result, what you have to do now, what will happen in the future. Which means from the past experience, you have to take the experience with us and apply it to the practical current world to avoid that kind of conflict in the future. It is called wisdom in 3 tenses, he says. How it happens? All the things we understand. Now we got moderation, everything. Now we got knowledge also what happened in the past. Now you got to turn it, but still we are getting problem. Why we are getting problem? We should know something called cause and effect. What is cause and effect? Whatever this for simply says, whatever you do, there is a result attached with that. The moment the action is done, the result also decided. Only thing, you can postpone the result bit later or sooner, depends on your capability of resisting the problem. Let's say you are doing a sin. You are you, we are somebody is doing a sin, and he is rich enough to stop, barricade all the sins and hide from others. He can escape from that. Of course he can do, because he has power, he has money, he has political influence, everything he can do. But one thing he can't do, the record what he made it. It will come to action in future when he getting tired or this power is getting low. Not only big guys, even small life, you can do small things, and the result you have to experience in your life. That's called cause and effect. How it happens, as I said, like the body has a full of magnetic energy. It spreads through your senses, it goes out and interacted and comes back and giving us an experience, and you are feeling like experience. That experience recorded in your body itself in 5 different places. I'll tell you only few places: brain, and a genetic center, and your sense. What is that? Physical senses. The senses will, the record will give you like a practice or your capability, but the genetic center record is the one is decide your character. Is that record is only see. So when you do sins like stealing others money, or steal the others work, others uh, possession, everything, if you steal it, that is recorded as a negative things to you. If you do good things, it will be recorded as a positive. That whatever the record we are making inside will come to action. How it happens, let's see. That's called Maharishi says prapta karma. Whatever you are doing, that will be recorded in your things. It's a prapta karma. Is that only things you are making you affected? No, there is some more things extra. Even if you do good things, there are some pains we are getting it. Why we are getting it? For that, we have to understand that record, whatever the record we are making, it is created every creature from the when it become inorganic to organic format, like the first soul created in the world, the record started to record. The record completely inherited from the generation to generation. Like when the life started in the planet, the record comes to it. There is a one soul, what is it, one sense creature to 5 sense creatures, like animal. From the animal it become monkeys. From the monkeys it comes to like a human. All the recorded embedded with that. you know uh, there are animal characters steal others possession and eat for his life. Same thing we also human also doing. Every character of creature we have in our mind, why it is coming from that. Not only that, the before us there is a generation comes up, there are peoples comes up, their knowledge, their records, their actions is recorded. Based on their actions, they converted and recorded again. One thing I forgot to say you here, something called mutation. What is mutation? This is a human is any creature's action, like whenever it's uh, training something that become that body to adapt to that. For example, if you're going for that driving class, when you go into the driving first class itself, the instructor will instruct you how to drive the car, how to control the steering, how to put the gear, how to put your clutch, everything you know at the first stage. Are you able to drive it in that same day? 99% is not possible, because if you try to control the steering, car will go this direction, other direction, you control it. Now moment if you go regularly to your class, it become your habit. When you got all the training, when you drove the car in the road, you may drive even with the little finger, put the steering on the finger, you chat with your friend, you do the things, you will drive it. How it possible? Because your body adapted to that function. So whatever the action you're doing, your body is adapted, the record is created, the body is adapted to that. So that's called mutation. So generally, typically, whatever the things you are doing it, the body is getting adapted. That record is recorded. When you got kids for the kid has the little capability of that same. That's why uh, it's not exceptional. I mean, exact example, but it's a kind of, if a guy comes from uh, active person, mostly that kid will have the same kind of attitude, same kind of action, the capability, everything. A guy comes from a poor or uneducated background, he may get some struggle to get educated, because that that is called, we say genes or whatever is comes from that. What I'm trying to say, this records whatever the karma, that's called karma. Sanjita karma, Maharishi says. Sanjita means his case like a basket of karmas come from forefather to us. This karma in us, it gives some action. As I said little earlier, if you do a karma, if you do an action, that result is attached with that. Sometimes the result may not be come to his life because his capability, he might have hidden it. That will transfer to your kid or family, then you will get suffer after some time. You may not know in your lifetime, you may not have done that mistake, but you may have that karma within you, so you have to experience similar. Like when forefather or father has some diabetes, the kid may have diabetes, similar kind of thing. So same issue will come to us and make that. It's called sanjita karma. Plus agaya karma, whatever the action we are doing, um, prapta karma, sorry, not aragaya karma, prapta karma, whatever the action we are doing, that is also recorded, it becomes experience. So the mixture of sanjita karma and prapta karma combining together and induced to do the action, that's called your character. When some circumstance comes, one fellow will act cool way, another fellow will act different, I mean angry way. This is because of the karma within them, how they practiced, how they are, how the body is mutated, how the action is inherited with them, it depends on them. So that karma which is inducing mind will call as a is called as a agami karma, which means that body is inducing to do that. Now you have to apply your knowledge of what happens in the past for the same action, what will happen now. It's called mukalarnya. Maharishi says three tense knowledges. You have to apply the knowledge and do the action now, which means if you record that, it's difficult, really difficult. What I'm trying to say, if the river flows in the in a earth, it create a deep, they excavate the soil, I mean it'll erode the soil and create a path. When river water comes again the same way, it will go the same way. Similarly, when you do a habit and become a agami karma, that's called agami karma, it created a path to you, the for your action. That's your character. Internally, what you feel to do is your character, which means when water comes, the river goes to the river. Similarly, some scenario comes, you will act the same way what was practiced or what we have in a record. Now you have to apply the principle, try to understand, is it that action is right or wrong? Why you have to do that? Because there is a good news, we can change everything even now. The only thing is how much the karma made your the way of action. You have to make more than that, which means if you are for to be honest, I'm coming from a family who got more angries. I got some similar problem when I up to the point which I'm joining with Maharishi system. I was feeling like angry is the only source to control of this. When joined that, I felt like angry is a weakness, is unable to control your idea. Now, what happens in scenario comes, my knowledge is there. I should not act on the way I am acting earlier, which is the angry. But the moment comes, my body and mind is saying to act the same way. Now, if you lose the control, you will do the same way. Again, record is created. Again, deeper is going on. Now there is you have to have an immense potential energy to stop that. You should, to improve that, there is a technique. We have meditation, introspection. That's why Maharishi says introspection classes, to understand what happens in the past, what will happen now, how to control it. To control it, if you know your weaknesses, you know how to control it. You will not act the way you are acting, the same pattern. So it's like, putting a dam in the river. When you put a dam in the river water will up, goes up and up, the pressure will create it. Now when the pressure created, use the pressure, use your introspection classes, direct that pressure to the different direction, create another way to go out. Which means when you're getting angry, keep your mind cool and say, try to solve it in a soft manner. Control your anger. If you're unable to control, just think about Magrici, his ideas about his sinam kartal, control of anger management techniques. Put one by one and keep your mind cool and calm and act the way. Think about the result, what happens in the past. Make your mind cool and act the way. If you do regularly, if the new path is created more than the past path, you will change your character. So will it be easy? Yes, it is very easy for the guy who has less karma, less effects. So definitely you can change with different direction. If you have deeper karma, deeper issues, your mind will not be easy to control, but by persistence, complete doing it again and again, definitely you can change it. The moment you are able to control, the moment you're able to not controlling, you're able to redirect, you'll be better. That's why I'm saying when you do meditation alone, that energy will increase. When you stop meditation, the guy may act the same way with faster manner. So meditation will give you energy, but introspection only will make you the right, correct way. So the point is, by controlling Agamiya karma, you can change your Pramata karma. By changing the Prarabdha karma, you can control your, change your Sanjita karma as well. And your generation, the information from you to your generation will change. At the course of time, complete family will be in different level. You are doing your life, whatever life you have in your stuff, this is towards the blissful and enjoyable life, that everybody has the immense potential to do that. So to do that, Maharishi given a simple, very easy techniques. I in my lifetime, keep this mind always when you do actions, I in my lifetime will not give pain to others, either physically or mentally. When the circumstance comes, when you're taking the action, keep this in our mind and always try to adhere with that. To the extent possible, remove the pain of others. Then you have to keep that morality in your morality and duty and charity in mind. This is very, very important. Morality you have to do in a correct manner. Duty you have to do that all the five duties in your life. And charity, duty, difference between the duty and charity is like duty is the one you got earlier. You have liability to do that back, so that's called duty. Charity is the one you don't have any liability, but you have to do something to others to make their life better. Is charity. By
Muthukumar
doing
sir,
the things. Yes, sir.
Muthukumar sir,
Yes, sir.
sorry to intervene. We have class in another 5 minutes.
Yeah, sir. I'll finish it off. When you
Yeah.
do this way, you have to do the five duties, moderate in five cause and effect, and try to make it as a practice, as a skill, improve the knowledge as a skill, and become habit. The habit only making you better. Now, by doing this, will you achieve everything? Is not a way to do that. The problem is when you do achievements with this, you will not be happy, because when the river goes in on a jungle, if it is passed through the pond will fill again, it goes up. Which means if you do this improvement of your own, always it goes improvement, again it goes for next. It will not get satisfied. When it will get satisfied, when river goes to ocean and fill the ocean, it become silent, which means your mind has to connect with the God. Whatever action you're doing, always you have to think You are connected with the God, which means your life is connected with the God. You will get satisfaction. It's like rivers passing to the ocean. You will get better life. Believe blessed.